First Things First is sponsored by Gillette, the best a man can get.
Welcome back to First Things First. Giants and Niners was billed as the game of the weekend. No, it wasn't. The two teams heading into Week 10 with literally one win between them both. The winless 49ers against the 1-7 Giants. If that's not a reason to watch, the Giants somehow, someway, found a way to make their season even worse, losing 31-21 to San Francisco. Head coach Ben McAdoo met with the media after the game.
Do you need to address, your situation with the team, because there's going to be speculation?
What situation? We have to go correct the tape. All right. We have to get ready for the next ball game. We have a chance to play probably one of the best teams in football next week. So, no situation.
I think we're all on the same page here of what should most likely happen. But does it happen today? Does Ben McAdoo get fired today?
And what is that? What is that same page?
That Ben McAdoo is not going to be their head coach in the long run.
Well,
that was safe.
I mean, I think the New York Giants should fire Ben McAdoo today. I am not a guy that likes to say this guy should be fired, that guy should be fired. When Eric Mangini
with 50
here,
shows in, you're fired.
First time, took 50 shows.
Yeah, week 10.
First guy. Yeah, here's the reason I don't care that it's week 10 versus week 17. I think the New York Giants have already made this decision. Ben McAdoo is not going to be our head coach in the 2018 season. And if you have already made that decision, and you have a guy on the staff who's been a head coach before in Steve Spagnuolo, who, by the way, I think he's probably gone after the year as well, but you know someone who knows the day-to-day rituals, if you will, that a head coach has to undertake, because you need that in an interim coach, someone that knows about the scheduling and different things that a head coach has to deal with. I think you must take advantage of the knowledge that Ben McAdoo's not going to be your head coach next year, and see if by firing him, you can learn more about which players should be on your team next year. Because if you fire the coach, there is no more hiding, no more excuses as far as why Eli Apple seems to, in back-to-back weeks, have just stopped playing on live ball touchdowns. Why this very highly paid, very highly skilled, you would think, defense can't seem to stop C.J. Beathard. Why guys on offense who should be playing to prove they belong in the league, a lot of these offensive linemen, can't seem to even do that. So if you know Ben McAdoo's not your coach next year, there's no reason for him to be your coach next week.
Well, you don't gain anything. This is not college. You're not recruiting. So you don't gain anything. My biggest problem with firing during the season is he's the play caller. What type of offense am I going to run for the next 8 weeks? Who's going to call them plays? And everyone can't just call plays. So it's not like you got 3 guys on your staff that have called plays. Now, you made the point about Spagnuolo taking over. Yes, that would be an acceptable conclusion to the matter. But if he's going to get fired also, so what do you gain by giving him full control for the last 8 games? You know you're going to have a high pick, all right? You need some type of continuity, week in, week out. You need someone to do the press conferences. So what's the rush, and what advantage do you have in firing him? Now, if you think firing the head coach is going to make Eli Apple play harder, then you're really out of your mind, because that's an Eli Apple thing, all right? That's not the head coach's problem.
So then, all right, so because you made this point last week as well, and I want to get into it. The idea that players don't ever quit on a coach or quit on a team. Like, because there are New York Giants, albeit anonymous New York Giants, right, saying that is exactly what's happening. That we've quit on McAdoo. That, of course, there was a Giant that texted, I think, ESPN after the game last night and said, see, I told you this is what was going to happen. But you seem to reject that out of hand.
No, I didn't say that.
Oh, okay. No,
I didn't say that.
So then, go ahead.
Players, individually, depending on what their character is, players will quit, all right? They will quit, but teams don't quit on the coach. The reason why? There's too much flexibility in the roster. There's too much money to be made. You can be cut and released. Also, in playing with a bad coach, your film is going out there to the rest of the league. So players know that. So you just can't have, the team is not going to quit. Now, the Giants, a couple guys aren't playing as hard, but you can't force guys to quit. Like, you can't even have a team meeting without the coaches be like, you know something, guys? We're going to go out there next week and not play hard. You know what ends up happening then? You end up getting hurt. Because this is football. This is not basketball. This is not baseball.
Right.
Like, you can really get hurt.
Then what? Let me ask you this then. Do you, because this is the first time since we've been doing a show, like you said, that this came up, that this is a plausible thing to discuss. Do you think it's always a mistake for teams to fire a coach mid-season?
Not always. I think every individual case needs to be measured on what you have available, what you're going to do, what type of team you have. They
And
have
the
a veteran
lateral
defense
followed
with a
up by a
veteran
hurdling.
quarterback. They do not have another play caller that I know. Unless you look at their coaching staff and you tell me there's someone that's going to call plays, because what you're going to present as a product the last 8 games is important. All right? It's not like the NBA where they don't care. You're out of it, they don't care. NFL fans, Giants fans, they still do care. And this is not going to help the team get any better. It's not like you get to, if you're in college, you fire your guy, then you can put out the feelers to get the best next coach. No, the Giants are going to get a good football coach because of the New York Football Giants.
But let's not forget the fact that these guys play in New York City. And in New York, everything is highlighted and heightened, and that may get lost on some players and people in other markets, but not here in New York, where every last detail, where in another market, one article is written on whether a coach should stay, there's like 27, and it's all over the place. And if we're reading and hearing and talking about this, the players know it, and I'm sure the players know that they're playing for a sitting duck, and I wonder if that just makes for a very fractured locker room. Because let me tell you this, when Coughlin came in and replaced, I guess it was Fossil at the time, I specifically remember players said to me, very big players who are currently working right now, who we all know, no one's playing for that guy. Nobody likes this guy. I don't like the way he did.
Guys don't play for coaches. Like, you can't say, I'm coming to work because my boss is a great guy.
I understand.
All right? And players make excuses when they're not playing well. All right? When their season's not going, it's easy to blame the coach. But the coach, they all call good plays, but players also have bad seasons. Now, for me, I would fire him after the season. The reason why, because I typically would give a coach 3 years. The reason why I would fire him is because he inherited a team with a veteran quarterback, with a general manager who gave him a very competent defense, one of the best in the NFL. So his record being 12-13, not developing the young draft picks. Those are the reasons why I fire him. I just don't believe in just firing people because the team's losing. I believe there should be some clear, legitimate reasons, and when you're not developing a roster that is a playoff roster, then I'm looking to fire.
To me, the clear, legitimate reason for doing it now is very simple. You had a bad first half of the season. Get it. Your best player got hurt. You had some bad luck early on. Things weren't going your way. And you're sitting there at 1-6, and you're like, damn, like it could have gone a different way. You have your bye. How did you come out after the bye? You got the break speed off you by the Rams. One of the more embarrassing performances of the season. You give up a 3rd and 33 screen pass touchdown against the Rams.
That's the coach's fault.
Well, hold on.
How many people missed him?
I understand that. The following week, you're playing the winless San Francisco 49ers. You're down 31-13 with a minute and a half left. You get a touchdown late to make it look somewhat competitive when it wasn't. If that's not enough after the bye to have your coach lose his job, then nothing is. And I'm not saying it fixes anything, but here's what I know.
It don't fix it. Fire him, but it's not going to fix anything.
No, Cece, I'm not saying it won't fix anything. What I'm saying is maybe it doesn't. But I'm certain it doesn't hurt anything. The Giants cannot be damaged by firing Ben McAdoo right now. They can't be. What else can go wrong?
The quarterback can get seriously hurt. They can have an offense that's not competent. All right? A bunch of guys. All right? You have to be responsible, Nick. This is not Little League football. All right? You don't have a play caller. You need a system to play. If you thought that was bad, fire Ben McAdoo. Go out there without an offensive coordinator. See what it looks like. All right? It'll get worse. Okay, so you don't gain anything. You don't gain anything by firing him today. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
All right, we're going to take a little break there. Coming up, should the Steelers be concerned after barely beating the Colts? That's next on First Things